They say you should never mix business with pleasure. I learned that lesson the hard way. I'd just been promoted to vice president of operations at one of Chicago's top consulting firms. The culmination of 15 years of hard work, late nights, and sacrifice. My promotion party was in full swing, champagne flowing, colleagues congratulating me, when HR introduced me to my new executive assistant. "This is Amber Stevens," they said. "She'll be supporting you in your new role." Light-skinned girl, mid-20s, eager smile, firm handshake. And then my husband walked in, saw her, and went white as a sheet. That's when I knew. My new assistant, the woman I'd be working with every single day, was sleeping with my husband. This is the story of how I turned my promotion party into a trap, my office into a chessboard, and my revenge into a masterpiece. My name is Naomi Richardson, and before I tell you about the most satisfying revenge I've ever orchestrated, you need to understand who I was before that promotion party. Because the woman I am now, strategic, ruthless when necessary, unafraid to use every tool at my disposal, that's not who I used to be. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, in Chatham, a historically black middle-class neighborhood where people took pride in their homes, their children, and their community. My parents were both educators. My mother taught elementary school. My father was a principal. Education wasn't just valued in our house. It was expected, demanded, celebrated. "You're going to be somebody," my mother would tell me while helping with homework at the kitchen table. "You're going to make a difference. You're going to open doors that were closed to us." I took that seriously. I was an honors student at Whitney Young High School, president of the National Honor Society, captain of the debate team, got into Howard University on a partial scholarship, graduated magna cum laude with a degree in business administration. My parents drove all the way to D.C. for my graduation, my daddy crying when I walked across that stage. After Howard, I was recruited by Deloitte for their management consulting practice in Chicago. Started as an analyst, worked my way up to consultant, then senior consultant, then manager. I was one of the few black women at my level, and I felt the weight of that every single day. Had to be twice as good to get half the credit, had to code switch in meetings, had to navigate microaggressions and "you're so articulate" comments while still delivering excellent work. By the time I was 32, I was a senior manager making $180,000 a year. Not bad for a girl from Chatham whose parents worked in public schools their entire lives. That's when I met Marcus Richardson. We met at a Bud Billiken Parade after party, the biggest black cultural event in Chicago every August. He was 34, worked in commercial real estate, made good money, drove a Lexus. He was fine, 6'2", athletic build, that smooth, confident swagger that made women look twice. "You're impressive," he said, after talking to me for 20 minutes about my career. "Smart, successful, beautiful. How is someone like you still single?" "I've been busy building a career," I said. "Romance hasn't been the priority." "Maybe it should be," he said, handing me his card. "I'd like to take you to dinner." We dated for a year. He seemed to understand my career ambitions, was supportive when I had to cancel dates for client emergencies, didn't complain when I traveled for projects. "I get it," he'd say. "I'm ambitious too." We're the same. We got married when I was 33. Beautiful wedding at the South Shore Cultural Center. 200 guests, the electric slide at the reception, my sorority sisters stepping, my father giving a tearful speech about his baby girl. It was everything a Chicago black wedding should be. Elegant, cultural, full of love and community. We bought a house in Hyde Park, near the University of Chicago. 3 bedrooms, updated kitchen, a backyard. We hosted Sunday dinners, barbecues in the summer, game nights with friends. From the outside, we were the perfect black power couple. Both professionals, both making 6 figures, both climbing corporate ladders. For 4 years, I thought we were happy. I thought we were building something together. I thought we were partners. I should have noticed the signs. Marcus started traveling more. Property tours in Milwaukee, investor meetings in Indianapolis, networking in St. Louis. Always cities within driving distance. Always 2 or 3 days. Always vague about details. Our sex life, which had never been particularly passionate, dried up completely. From once a week to once every 2 weeks. to basically never. When I tried to initiate, he was tired, stressed, had early meetings. "It's not you, babe," he'd say. "Work is just crazy right now. Real estate market is intense." He started going to the gym obsessively. 5 a.m. every morning, sometimes evenings too. Lost weight, started dressing better, wearing cologne I didn't recognize. Got a lineup every week at the barbershop, bought new clothes, was on his phone constantly. "You look good," I said one morning. "Thanks, just trying to take care of myself." "Keep up with you, successful VP track woman." He started taking calls in other rooms, walking outside to handle business. His phone was always face down, always password protected, always with him. "Why'd you change your passcode?" I asked once. "Security. Got some sensitive client information. Can't be too careful. All lies, all excuses, all signs I ignored because I was too busy fighting for my next promotion." That promotion. Let me tell you about that promotion. I'd been positioning myself for VP of Operations for 2 years. It was the next step. I'd been a director for 3 years, consistently exceeding targets, bringing in Fortune 500 clients, mentoring junior staff. The role meant leading all operational consulting for the Chicago office, managing a team of 40 people, $25 million in revenue responsibility, $250,000 base salary plus bonus. I wanted it desperately. It represented everything my parents had taught me, everything my Howard education prepared me for, everything I'd sacrificed for. It meant being one of the few Black women VPs in the entire firm. It meant representation, breaking barriers, opening doors. I spent 6 months building my case, documented every success, every client win, every leadership moment, prepared presentations, networked with partners, put in even longer hours. Marcus was supportive in that distant way spouses are when they're not really present. "That's great, babe. I hope you get it." In May, I got the call. "Naomi, congratulations. The partners have selected you for VP of Operations effective June 1st. We're hosting a promotion celebration on June 10th. All staff, partners, spouses invited. This is a big moment. You're the first Black woman to reach VP level in our Chicago office." I cried. Actually cried on that call. Called my parents immediately. My mother screamed. My father said, "That's my baby girl." Called my sorority sisters, my Howard crew, everyone who'd been part of my journey. Called Marcus. I got it. I got the VP promotion. "That's amazing, baby. Congratulations. I'm really proud of you. The party is June 10th. You'll be there, right? Wouldn't miss it for the world." Between May and June, I barely saw Marcus. I was transitioning, onboarding, planning, strategizing. He was traveling, Milwaukee twice, Indianapolis, a week in St. Louis. "Real estate is booming," he'd explain. "These deals don't close themselves." I was too focused on my promotion to question it. HR contacted me a week before the party. "Naomi, we've hired your executive assistant. Her name is Amber Stevens. She's 26, 3 years of experience supporting senior executives. Excellent references. She'll start Monday after your promotion party, but we thought she could attend the celebration to meet you informally." "Perfect," I said. "I'm looking forward to meeting her." I was excited about having an executive assistant. After years of doing everything myself, I'd finally have support with scheduling, client coordination, all the administrative work that came with VP level. June 10th arrived. The celebration was at 6 p.m. in our office's event space. 40th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Lake Michigan and the Chicago skyline. Catered soul food, open bar, about 75 people expected. I spent the day in meetings, changed into the dress I'd brought. A burgundy sheath dress, elegant but powerful, paired with heels and the pearls my mother had given me. Did my hair in a sleek wrap, makeup flawless. I looked good. I felt victorious. The party was already filling up when I arrived. Colleagues congratulating me, partners shaking hands, junior analysts excited about the new leadership. The energy was incredible. This was my moment. My victory. Everything I'd worked 15 years for. Marcus arrived around 6:30, looking handsome in a navy suit. He found me. kissed my cheek. Congratulations, VP Richardson. You earned every bit of this. Thank you for being here, I said, squeezing his hand. It means a lot. Where else would I be? He said, smiling that smile that used to make my heart race. We mingled separately. I worked the room. He got a drink. This was a professional event. I needed to be present with my colleagues. Around 7 p.m., Jennifer from HR approached with a young woman. Naomi, I want you to meet Amber Stevens, your new executive assistant. Amber, this is Naomi Richardson, the VP you'll be supporting. I turned with a smile, hand extended. Amber, it's wonderful to meet you. And then I really looked at her. She was young, mid-20s like HR said, light-skinned, probably mixed or just had that complexion, with long weave down her back, straight, probably Brazilian. Pretty face, wearing a bodycon black dress that was just slightly too tight for a professional event. Heels too high, makeup too done. But that wasn't what made me freeze. It was her face when she saw me. Pure shock, terror, like she'd seen a ghost. Hi, she said weakly, taking my hand. Her palm was sweating. It's nice to meet you, Ms. Richardson. Naomi is fine, I said, studying her carefully. Something was very wrong. Amber's very excited to start Monday, Jennifer said, oblivious. She's been preparing all week, learning our systems, reviewing your client portfolio. I'm sure we'll work great together, I said, watching Amber's face. Jennifer left to check on catering. Amber stood there, clearly wanting to run, but trapped. So, Amber, I said conversationally, how long have you been in Chicago? About a year, she said quietly. And what brings you to consulting? New challenge. I mostly worked in real estate and property management before. Real estate. A warning bell went off in my head. That's interesting. My husband works in commercial real estate. Marcus Richardson. Maybe you've crossed paths? I watched her face drain of color. Watched her eyes go wide. Watched her try to compose herself and fail completely. I don't think so, she stammered. It's a big industry. Maybe, I said. But Chicago's black professional community is pretty tight. What companies did you work for? I was freelance, contract work, different places. She was lying, badly. That's when Marcus walked up, drink in hand. Hey babe, the food is... He saw Amber, stopped mid-sentence, went pale. I looked at Marcus, looked at Amber, back at Marcus, and I knew everything. Marcus, I said calmly, have you met my new executive assistant, Amber Stevens? He couldn't speak, just stood there holding his whiskey like it was a lifeline. Amber, I continued, voice still professional. This is my husband, Marcus Richardson. Marcus, Amber will be working with me starting Monday. Isn't that wonderful? We'll all be seeing a lot of each other. Amber looked like she might faint. Excuse me. I need to use the restroom. She practically ran from the room. Marcus finally found his voice. Naomi, baby, I can explain. Not here, I said quietly but firmly. Not at my promotion party. Not in front of 75 people, including senior partners. We're going to smile, celebrate, and go home. Then you're going to tell me everything. It's not what you think. Marcus, I said, my voice sharp now. I don't know what I think yet, but I know what I just saw. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to get me a glass of champagne, stand next to me, and play the supportive husband for 1 more hour. Can you do that? He nodded, defeated. The rest of the party was pure torture. I smiled, laughed, gave my speech thanking everyone, accepted congratulations. All while my mind raced. All while Marcus stood next to me looking guilty. All while Amber hid somewhere and then slipped out early. We got home around 9:30. I didn't waste time. How long? Naomi, how long? Marcus, 8 months, he said quietly. 8 months. While I was working 80-hour weeks, traveling constantly, positioning myself for VP, my husband was cheating with some 26-year-old. Where did you meet her? She worked at a property management company I partner with. We started talking and it just happened. It just happened. 8 months just happened. Baby, I never meant for it to go this far. It was supposed to be casual, physical, something separate from our marriage. You were fucking another woman and it's separate from our marriage. You're never here. Always traveling, always working, always choosing your career over us. I felt lonely, neglected. So instead of talking to your wife, you decided to fuck a girl young enough to be our daughter. I'm sorry, he said, crying now. I love you. I never wanted to hurt you. Did you know she was going to be my assistant? No, I swear I didn't know. She told me she got a new consulting job, but she never said which firm. I didn't know she'd be working with you. When was the last time you saw her? Silence. When, Marcus? Yesterday. I said I was in Milwaukee. But I was with her. At a hotel. The night before my promotion party. While I was practicing my speech, planning my outfit, feeling proud of my achievement, my husband was in a hotel with the woman who would become my assistant. Get out, I said. Baby, please. Get out of my house. Pack a bag. I need you gone. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. Hotel, her place, your mama's house. Hell. Just get out. He packed. Took 30 minutes. I sat on our couch, the couch we'd picked out together, in the house we'd bought together, and didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just planned. By the time he left, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I didn't sleep. Instead, I sat at my laptop gathering evidence. Bank statements, credit card charges, hotels, restaurants, gifts, phone records showing hundreds of texts to a number I didn't recognize. I also researched Amber Stevens. Found her LinkedIn. Saw she'd worked at Midwest Property Solutions for 2 years. Left 3 months ago. The same company Marcus's firm partnered with regularly. She hadn't lied about real estate. She'd been strategic. Over the weekend, I made my decisions. I was not going to quit or ask for Amber to be reassigned. I'd worked too hard for this. I was not going to fire her immediately. That would look emotional. I was going to use the situation to my advantage. See, Amber didn't know I knew about the affair. Marcus clearly hadn't told her he was married to me specifically. And now she was going to be my assistant, which meant I'd have access to her schedule, her time, her communications. If Marcus wanted to continue seeing her, he'd have to coordinate. And I'd see everything. Monday morning, Amber showed up at 8:30. I watched her walk through the office, clearly terrified. Jennifer from HR brought her to my office. Amber, welcome to your first day. Naomi, Amber's all set up right outside your office. Amber stood in my doorway looking like she wanted to die. I smiled warmly. Amber, welcome. I know Friday was overwhelming. Big party, lots of people. Today will be calmer. Come in. Let's talk about what this role will look like. She sat, surprised by my friendliness. First, I said, I want you to know I have high standards, but I'm fair. Work hard, communicate clearly, manage my schedule well, and we'll be fine. I don't micromanage, but I expect excellence. Sound good? Yes, absolutely, she said quietly. Great. Now, one of the most important aspects of your role is calendar management. I travel frequently, I'm in back-to-back meetings, and I need someone who can protect my time. You'll also coordinate with clients, handle expenses, manage confidential information. Everything here is privileged. Discretion is essential. Can you commit to that? Yes, I understand. Perfect. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something that might seem unusual, but is critical for how I work. I need full access to your calendar. That way I can see your availability, plan my requests accordingly, know when you're out. Makes my life easier. Is that okay? She hesitated. Just a split second, then nodded. Of course. That makes sense. Wonderful. Let's get you set up. And just like that, I had access to Amber Stevens' entire schedule. Every appointment, every meeting, every out-of-office block, including the time she was meeting Marcus. Over the next 3 weeks, I watched and waited. Amber was actually competent, organized, responsive, professional. Under different circumstances, she might have been a good assistant. But she was fucking my husband. And I could see it all in her calendar. Personal appointment, Tuesday, 6 to 9 p.m. Dentist. Thursday, 2 to 5 p.m. Working remotely. Friday. All times that, when I checked Marcus's location, I'd put a tracker on his phone months ago for safety. Matched perfectly. They were still seeing each other. Even knowing I was his wife, even working as my assistant, they couldn't stop. I documented everything. Calendar screenshots, location data. I even created a fake email pretending to be from a hotel. Thank you for your recent stay. Please rate your experience. She filled it out. Dates matched Marcus's whereabouts perfectly. After 3 weeks, I made my move. I called Marcus. We'd been separated since the party. He was staying with his cousin in Bronzeville. We need to talk about the divorce. Can you come to the house Saturday? Of course. Does this mean you're willing to work things out? We'll talk Saturday. Saturday came. Marcus showed up with flowers, pathetic, and sat down. I'm filing for divorce, I said immediately. You have 2 options about how this goes. Baby, please. Option 1, uncontested divorce. I keep the house, you take your car and 401k. We split savings 60-40 in my favor. You pay my attorney fees. Divorce filed on grounds of adultery, which Illinois recognizes. That's not fair. Option 2, contested divorce. I present evidence of your 8-month affair, including the fact that your affair partner is now my employee, and you've been meeting her during work hours using marital funds. I'll request forensic accounting. I'll subpoena Amber to testify. It'll be public, messy, and expensive. You'll still lose, but it'll cost you another $50,000 in legal fees. He was silent. Oh, and in option 2, I continued, I'm required to inform HR about conflicts of interest, which means they'll discover my executive assistant is sleeping with my husband and lying about her availability. She'll be fired for cause. Her consulting career in Chicago will be over. I'll personally make sure every firm knows why. You can't do that, he said. I can, and I will. See, Marcus, you created a professional conflict of interest that affects my ability to lead. HR would fire her in a heartbeat, and once she's fired for misconduct, good luck getting another corporate job. She didn't know I was married to you specifically, but she knows now, and she's still meeting you. That's willful misconduct. So here's what's happening. You take option 1, sign the papers my attorney sends, and you end things with Amber today. Why do I have to break up with her? Because if you don't, I choose option 2, and she loses everything. That's blackmail. That's leverage, baby. I learned it at Howard, learned it at Deloitte. Now I'm using it on you. He chose option 1, signed everything, agreed to all terms. Then, according to my friend who followed him, he went straight to Amber's apartment and broke up with her. She came to work Monday devastated. Red eyes, couldn't focus, making mistakes. By Wednesday, she submitted her resignation. I can't work here anymore, she told me, crying in my office. It's too hard. I'm so sorry. Amber, I said gently, I understand this job isn't what you expected, but you've only been here a month. Are you sure? I'm sure, she sobbed. I can't. I hope whatever you're dealing with gets better, I said. She left that day. I heard later she moved back to Detroit, where she's from. Couldn't get another consulting job in Chicago. Word spreads fast in our industry. Last I heard, she's working reception at a car dealership, making half what we were paying her. Marcus and I were officially divorced 4 months later. I got the house, the furniture, 60% of savings, and my freedom. He got his car, his guilt, and a $75,000 loss in settlement. That was a year ago. I'm 38 now, still VP of operations, still excelling. Just got a bonus that was bigger than what my parents made in 3 years combined. Bought them a retirement condo in Florida. My mama cried when I handed her the keys. I'm dating someone new. Another Black executive at a different firm. Someone who understands ambition and doesn't feel threatened by success. Sometimes I think about that promotion party, about Amber's face when she saw me, about Marcus going pale, about the moment everything clicked. Some people say I should have fired her immediately, made a scene, let everyone know. But that's not who I am. I'm strategic. patient. I play the long game. My name is Naomi Richardson. My husband's affair partner showed up at my promotion party as my assistant. For 3 weeks, I let them think they'd gotten away with it while I gathered evidence to destroy them both. They thought I'd be too professional to use my position. They thought I'd prioritize my career over revenge. They thought wrong. I got the promotion, the settlement, the house, and the satisfaction of watching them lose everything. Amber lost her job and her career. Marcus lost his wife, his home, and $75,000. I lost a cheating husband and gained freedom. Best trade I ever made. If this story made you want to stand up and applaud, please subscribe for more stories about Black women who refuse to be victims. Hit like. If you believe strategic revenge is valid, comment. Was I wrong to use my boss position? Would you have done the same? Let's discuss. Remember, never underestimate a Black woman who worked her whole life to get where she is. She didn't get there by being weak. See you in the next story.